So in this video, I will be demonstrating some of the best ways that I know to finish missions for GrabTap in Legend of Mushroom. This is unscripted, so I'm just going to do my best to do what I can and make it brief. And yeah. Yo, this is Hidrux. I usually stream on the weekends, Central Canada time, midday on Twitch. Look for Hidrux, Hidrux. Previous sessions on YouTube, Hidrux Gaming. Excuse me, choking on spit randomly here. So picking up pretty much, I made it as far as I could. Unfortunately, I couldn't do level 105, which is the final goal, but I did manage to make it up to 95. So right off the bat here, some of the first things, you'll get a purchase account with GrabTap and you'll get like $1 and then $5 and $20, I think. So what you do with the dollar is really more or less up to you. There's not a lot of places to spend it. There's 4 keys here, and I'll explain keys in a moment. And then if we go into, I believe, this little map guy, no, go into the treasure box here. We have these different things that I'll explain later, but mainly we want privilege, and then we want skip all ads, and I believe this one is sort of the $4.99 one, and then monthly card is the more expensive one. So these are the ones that I wanted to. This is a $4.99 one, so I'm not sure what the prices are. I can't remember, but those are the ones I did get. Skip all ads will allow you to move through the game faster, and monthly card will give you some lamps, and lamps are the most important bit for progressing in the game and getting experience. So with Legend of Mushroom, we want to get levels, right? In the top left corner, we can see the little mushroom image in our levels. And in order to get levels, we have to do the lamp. So as soon as you start the game, the goddess will tell you sort of the brief of the game, and you're going to have to tap the lamp for quite a while until you get to level 16, I believe, which is quite a ways to go. But once you get past that level, the lamp, you'll get the auto, and the auto lamp will allow you to just pump lamps out, and the later levels you get, the faster you can pump lamps out. So that's pretty much the only way to get experience. There's a couple other ways, but I'll get into that later. So right away we have this box of treasure in the middle. This usually pops up if we come back from later. I'm not sure what AFK means. What does it say? I'm not sure. AFK, it just says AFK. So you'll receive AFK every 2 hours. So this thing will pop up as well. If we look at the 2-hour bonus there, we have the camera with a play button. So in order to get that, we'd have to actually pay for the remove ads, or we'd have to watch ads every time we use it. And this 2-hour cooldown is about half an hour. So when you're doing your dailies, as they call it, you want to get to that right away. That's one of your first ones, because if you save it for the end of the day, it's going to be half an hour between those 3 free kicks, right? And I've actually missed 1 or 2 now and then. But we have on the right, we have claim, so that's free pretty much, and you can claim everything. Just be careful when you do hit claim that it disappears. So you want to hit the ads first, the ad ones, and then that'll give you your thing. So I'm pretty much done. There's no big deal for me that I missed that, but I'll have to come back around to that just to make it holistic. As far as user interface here, I'll start on the top left, and this is the user, I guess, and this is me, Hidrux, and your mail. You want to check your mail and just go claim all, and that'll give you everything that's in there. Of course, it might look intimidating, but I've been away for a day because I thought I was done here. And then another one is the spin, and this is another one of the ones you want to get to your dailies. So it's 5 minutes between spins, and after the 5, it says remaining attempts today 5. After those 5, you want to come back every 5 minutes and get those 5 done. You get 2 more, and with these you'll get a chance at a lot of things. But included in there is the lamps, right? So we want to get those, and then the next one we have is friends. So you want to hit up add friend, and if you see a list, just add everybody, like already friends. Okay, so anybody that you can add friends, and then you just wait for it. The reason you want to do this is because every time you come back to friends, you just hit claim all and gift all. So that'll take coins that they've gifted to you, and you'll be gifting them right back to them. And as well, friend requests, if there's any in there, you just want to add them, unless like there's someone you don't like particularly. I don't know why you wouldn't, but for whatever reason. And then from there, I'm not sure what this is. The rank is just your overall rank, I guess. And then the gift center here, if you want to, you can just hit up the Discord daily, and that'll give you 200 gems. Gems come in handy for upgrades and stuff. They don't 100% directly link to getting experience, but they're pretty indirect. And same with the 5 coupons there on top. If you want to share to your Facebook or whatever, it's to your advantage to do those things, because the more stuff you get, indirectly it'll boost towards getting your missions done. And then we have a reward. Well, that is rewards. And then bind. So it looks like you get a reward for binding. Again, the more stuff you get, the better. And as I go through these things, I'm not really grabbing things because I don't need to, and it's going to slow me down. So continuing through the list here, we have the energy savings. So when you are popping lamps, you kind of want to keep this running so you can continue to pop lamps and then just, fall asleep. And then when you get up, all your lamps will be popped, kind of thing. And then we have this slider back and forth, so we can slide that off, and then we're back to our screen. And it runs kind of as a standalone program. It's not a lock screen, so just keep that in mind. And if the music is on, it will be playing the music. And in order to turn off the music, we go to the top bit here, the picture of the avatar, and then there's all the stuff in here. So we want to go to settings, and then we can see our music and sound effects there. So I have music off just because it's distracting, and I'm not looking to get a DCMA. I doubt there would be a DSMA, but I'm not going to take any chances. And then there's Shroom Recall. So this is a code that will you can hand out to people. So it says me, if I ever came back, you might have to believe you'd give this to me, and then you get a spin on this wheel, I suppose. I've never used it. I'm not sure how. It's not one of my majors. And then there's the daily login. So it looks like I got 200 lamps today, which is great. That would be great win. But usually for day 7, it's like a creature, and you got to log in every day, do your dailies, and get that done. I'm not sure what schedule is. Okay, so this is your family bit. I'll come back to that because we'll see that again later moments. So this is just sort of a public display thing where people share their pictures. I'm not going to show it off now. Invite. So you want to send this to people that you can convince to play the game with you, or your GrabTap viewers, or whomever, and this will give you some perks, right? The key there, these keys are one of the big winners, and I'll explain that momentarily. And a battle guide. So this is just a little bit of a description of how stats work. So back to this main screen again. If we look at the top in the middle there, we have this little fast forward button besides where it says Apocalypse. So I'm far along here. And then if we hit that, we get this pop-up, right? Speed up battle. And this is pretty important too, because killing bosses and at the beginning, I think killing enemies will give you lamps. So you want to hit that, and it'll give you 2 times. Again, you want to get that add removal thing, so you can just instantly do things, and then you'll get that twice. And the cooldown again there is for half hour. So another thing that you want to grab right away. I apologize for jumping into the GUI and neglecting that in place. And if there's any errors I'm making, it's just because this is unscripted and I want to get back into my dailies. However, I do want to encourage my viewers, the people that are part of my GrabTap, or the people that I can recruit. I want to give them the pro strategies here to get things done. And so there's a lot of these panels here. If we look above the treasure chest, we have a lot of like daily panels. So I'll talk about the first 3 real quick. This is usually something that's, I believe, like a limited time event, and you just tap on them. And then these are like the ranking rewards. And a lot of times when you go through things or you do daily things, this specific one is to the current event. So when you do things in the current event, you'll get rewards as the list goes on, the more things you do, right? And then the second one here is just a bunch of different screens. We again want to go to task, and these are the tasks we want to achieve, and then that'll unlock our tiers, right? And as we go, we can get more stuff. So just another part of the dailies, Happy Farm. So this is again another list doing tasks on the farm, which is, I'll explain later, manor. You get a manor, sort of a place. I'm not sure when you get that level, but not till a later level. The Star Hero Pass. So this is, again, more task stuff. Defeat 100 enemies, and then you can come in here and you'll get Star Hero. And Star Hero is another part I'll explain later. Level fund. So again, just another thing you can come in and hit claim all, and you'll get whatever's offered. Magic Lamp Fund. So the more levels you get in the Magic Lamp, you can come back here and you can go claim all, and you'll get more lamps for whenever level you level up. And then again, privilege here is the purchasables. And as I said, the skip all ads and the monthly cards are the ones that the GrabTap budget will cover, and you want to get those done. Lifetime Pass is a bigger one. We see that's about $30. Of course, the GrabTap budget doesn't cover that. However, I'm not, I'm a professional gamer, so I wouldn't be taking this. I don't do, I'm in it for the money for the most part. So I'm not sure about these other ones. These are also more passes that you pay for, and they'll get you sort of over, what are they called? Timeouts, cooldowns and stuff. And events. So there's another set here with these ones. These ones are a little different. So these are sales throughout the day. And what you want to do when you go in here is you want to ignore what's in the middle for the most part, for most of them. And then at the top right here, you see that treasure box. You want to hit that and we'll get some gems. And we just go through the list, hitting that little treasure box, getting the gems, ignoring the purchase packs unless you're planning to, invest. I don't recommend it as a professional gamer. And a value card, and this one I think is a little different. No, I think they're all on the top. There was one sometimes, I think it's in the middle. There is one that sits in the middle. And then we have the task list, so we just want to hit our daily tasks. And this is a packed coin, so I'll explain that as well later. And the packed coins go along with what was it, the Star Hero cards. So we see on the top there, it's unlocking things. We want to get that key, right? So the more stuff you do, you just come back here and then you get your dailies, right? You get your dailies done, you do things and come back here and do the claims. And the handbook is the same thing. So I believe when you power up yourself or your creatures, your pals, you come back here and then you can get those done in the daily. And then, yeah, I think this is like a bigger map. So it's kind of like this one, but it's like an overall because this one's a daily, right? Okay, and then moving down the GUI here, we have the battle arena. I'm not sure this unlocks right away. So I believe this is, this is the standard battle arena. You just hit challenge and you need battle tickets. In the top left here, we can see the little plus sign with the X ticket, and you get a maximum reload of 3 in a day. So in the beginning, this is a little bit worth it. You want to do these. Actually, you want to do these as much as possible. If you want to hit that level 105 and you're committed to doing these dailies, come in here, grab your 10 laps for your however many tickets you can spend. I imagine you can get 3 somewhere and then pay for another 3. And then I think the other 3 are just, they're just gems, right? So I have quite a bit of gems. I can pay for 3 more, but I'm not going to do anything because I'm done, right? So, and then there's the cross server matches. So you have to sign up for these. And then these are sort of the bit better ones because they have a shop. So if we look in the bottom left here, there's a shop. And in the shop, we have lamps, right? And we got a purchase limit of 5x5. And when you do the cross server matches, you get actually quite a bit of points. Like I have 555, and if I want these lamps, they're not really that expensive. So something to look out for. 500 lamps right there, boom. And there's not too much else in here. There's some stuff like you can get that are like perk kind of stuff. There was an egg there that I wanted. Looks like there's a pack ticket. Again, I'll explain that later. And yeah, so nothing like specifically related. A lot of indirect stuff like fertilizer, seeds, those are pretty indirect. And then speed up coupons will help things move faster. So those potentially, if you run out of lamps, I mean, like I said, when you win battles, you get quite a bit of cross server points. But in here, I found that I think even losing, you still get the bonus of 20 lamps because what was that? Whatever. I think that was like my winnings. Because in here you get 10 lamps, right? 10 lamps on the bottom there above refresh. You get 2 tickets and 10 lamps. And I believe in the cross server you get 4 tickets and 20 lamps. So you want to do, again, as much battling as you can and get your coins up and then hit the shop for those 5 packs of lamps. And if you need the fertilizer, the tickets, or the seeds, they're there as well. And don't feel too worried about it spending those coins or whatever, the cross server coins, because they're so abundant. And lamps are cheap in here. So that is the battle screen. And we have this season thing. I was never able to figure this out. So if you pop in here, apparently you're supposed to be able to like upgrade things, and there's supposed to be some sort of campaign. I asked them and they never got back to me in time. I was done. So like, I don't know when this starts. I played for 2 weeks and it didn't. Right. Okay. So enough of that. And then what is this guy? I'm not even sure what this is. It just looks like another ranking thing. Okay, so let's get out of there. And then the challenge button in the middle, you can challenge the boss whenever you make it through the levels, right? And then I'm pretty far along, so there's a good chance I might not win. It looks like I'm actually winning. And then the bosses, they do give you lamps, right? He's going to drop some lamps, yeah. So it's in your best interest to kill those bosses and get your stats up to kill those bosses and get what lamps you can. Again, the treasure box is back here, and then there's the 2-hour bonus. If I hit it, it's going to start the cooldown timer. We can see it above the 2-hour bonus, and then I can just claim those 9 that are there. And then in the top right here, we got this little arrow that closes the offers. So if we look, we have an offer here, event spending. So I'm not sure what this is from. It looks like there's a new event going on. No, this is still the same one. So these are always different. What you want to do is that, like, they're kind of like mini games. Of course, we can see these presents. I'm going to grab these presents just to get them out of my way. And there's some lamps. They're always random kind of thing. That's a lot of presents. So there's different events, and a lot of them have like mini games and stuff, which are sometimes pretty interesting. I kind of liked a lot of what was going on with the mini games. Is my microphone even running? Yeah, okay, it is. I just don't hear the game, and I'm not sure why. Maybe because I have it in the light mode. I turned off the sound. Oh, I got defeated. See, I lost against the boss. Okay, so here's like a little fishing game. You drop the net, but like if you start playing, there's a good chance that this isn't going to be the event. And then there's Dance of Fireworks. So you contribute fireworks and you move up the tiers and you get to win things. And then there's an overall tier. Actually, the top one's an overall tier. The bottom one is your contributions, I believe. So it's just play the mini games, get the coins, and here's another mini game. This is mixing drinks. So I believe this is where I get fireworks from. And like I said, the mini games are a little interesting. So this one's dip for fish. And then this one is like, there's a thing that toggles back and forth across the screen, and you got to hit it when it's in the middle, right? So it goes back. Oh, I can't really demonstrate. Like it goes back and forth, and then you got to hit it when it's in the middle. And then that gives you a bunch of fireworks, and you take the fireworks here and you shoot off the fireworks and you get the prizes. And there's lamps in there, so you want that. And then after you get out of there, you get these coins, and you take these coins down to this thing. And this is usually a common thing for these events, is these big draw wheels. So I don't have any coins right now. However, like you do a draw and you can hit, see, it's telling me go to the store and buy some, but you can hit skip. There's usually like a skip button somewhere, and you can like draw 10 at a time, or just, do things. And then you get these little bottles specifically from this one. Different ones give different things, and they usually lead back to this store. So these stores, things are pretty expensive. See, I can pay 15,000 rubies to do a draw. And then, I have one. Okay, so usually with these stores, like if you're a lifer, I call them, people who actually play for the game, right? You can get these kinds of other things. They do different things, but usually in the bottom right, the cheapest thing is usually money. And after the event ends, whatever these currencies you have will change into money. So right now I can grab this 50,000 for my one bottle. And that's pretty much all there is here for these side quests. And a lot of times that 50,000, I believe I'm done here. So there's one more part. That 50,000 will go towards upgrading your lamp. Money usually goes towards upgrading your lamp for the most part. I'm not sure. There's too many other things. And then we have this sort of leaderboard. So we come down here. I believe there's usually somewhere you deposit whatever you get left at the end with some stubs kind of thing, and you take your stubs and you put them in this leaderboard, and then you head and you can go see the leaderboard. And the leaderboard does actually have ranking gifts, and it's for like these over dramatic prizes a lot of times. Like, look at this guy, has like some sort of fireworks gun, and he's riding like a phoenix on a black hole, and this other one has giant feathers, and like this one in the middle looks like he's got some Dark Lord costume. Like this really exaggerated stuff. So yeah, and like, of course the draws, the big thing in the middle there, that's usually like the winner. This thing in the bottom here, it's like a fireworks gun or something. So there's a potential to get these really flashy things. And then there's in the bottom left here, there's usually something you can go in, and this is sort of like your dailies too. When you get things done, you can come in here and you can claim these sort of stubs, and then go dump the stubs in here. As well, when you get enough stubs, you can see here that you get prizes. However, most times it's just more coins to play the games, which is good because sometimes the coins directly lead to lamps, and it's a bit of a circle, so you can go in a circle, and sometimes you can get lamps here, and then sometimes the lamps are in here, like you can see right there, there's some lamps, and but this one doesn't seem to have any lamps. Oh, actually this one does give lamps too. So you finish the mixing. I usually just dump all 50. It looks like I have 100, so I'm not actually going to get anything to play. Like I said, I'm done here as much as I'm tempted to play. I really just want to get into my other dailies because I'm running out of time. And then what else did we got here? So that's the top right corner. And for the most part, I think I've covered everything. In the stuff in the middle, you'll learn it's the standard gameplay stuff. So that's your character and your character stats. This is just character stat. You want to hit enhance. And then after you hit enhance, you want to hit quick equip. And then that'll just bring your character up to class. Or up to skill, like it'll match all your good skills here. And if we switch to class, we can see a little more things. Not a lot going on here except for evolution. So you would sort of pick your path in the game. As you get levels, you get to pick an evolution. I went with the bottom one here, which is Spirit Channeler. And I believe I made it up to Beast Soul Master, or no, Soul Hunter. I'm not sure. I think Beast Soul Master. Yeah, because I picked Beast Tamer, I think. Okay. And then that's about it there. You can devolve, like you can step back if you want to, and it tells you your next level. And then back to skill list. So the next tab here is your pals. So you can, again, just enhance and then tap through and then a quick equip, and it'll pick the best of the best kind of thing. And then we have these little swords. So these don't open up until a little later. However, once you get in there, there's an event on top there. I'm not too big on the events. The main one you want is Assault the Lamp Thief. And Assault the Lamp Thief is a big deal because when you come into here, he's actually pretty tough right now. For a long time, he's going to be like really easy, but once you hit the like level 89 or 90 or whatever, he gets pretty tough. But the more you hit him, the more he just drops lamps. Like he's pretty much a pushover, and that's pretty much all he's good for. He just drops tons of lamps, but you have to beat him to get the lamps. And you want to come in here and you want to do that the 3 times. Every day you get 3 keys, and if you pay for the ad removal thing, you get 2 more. So you want to do those. And the Molten Runes here, these ones are for the tickets, and the tickets beef you up. So there's speed up tickets, which speed things up, and then there's like a coupon, where they call them a skill coupon, pal coupon. So skill coupon beefs you up, pal coupon beefs your pals up. And the Ancient Rune City, so this guy is for, it gives you forks, and the forks go to your mount. So they see that little board that I'm sitting on. You can upgrade that. You start as like I can't remember, like a rubber dinghy or something. I can't remember exactly what you start as, but you start as something like simple, a lily pad, and then you come and get these forks and you upgrade your, or is this for, let me see here. No, it's the wrenches. So forks are for what's called artifacts, but it's the same deal. Artifacts are kind of this thing you equip that help you do things. They're a little side thing that I'm not really big fan of, but it does give you some perks. But it's like furthest away indirect giving you lamps. So that one's just another one, and you go random match, and then it'll take 15 seconds, and it'll pull 3 people out, and I think it's actually, unless I get out of there, it'll pull 3 people out, and then it'll run the match, and then if you finish the match, what you want to do is you want to add those people, and then you want to leave the match and then go back in and get more people, because you want more friends, right? The more friends you have, the more coin collections you can give and get daily. So don't just stick to the same crew when you're doing that ancient run. When you hit random match or invite friends, leave the match after the match and then jump back in. And after you use up your keys, you'll start using your ads bonus or whatever, and it'll kick you right out anyway. But remember to grab the add friends where you can. And okay, so the Chrono Tower here, it's sort of like the previous ones. This one gives you the little wind up guys, and that's for your mount. So, and then there's the Cloud Ascension Trial, and this comes way later. So you select the comrade, you get a list of comrades, and then you go through this like 5-tier battle royal, not battle royal, but 5-stage battles, and eventually you work yourself towards an egg, and an egg is an avian, which helps you. If you can look at like a little candle guy flying there, and we'll talk more about that later. So I'll come back to the lamp later too. I just want to continue with this stuff, but maybe actually because I'm halfway through the screen, I'll talk about the lamp now. So the lamp, when we hit it, enable notifications. No thanks. So the lamp, this is the kind of the screen you either want to equip or sell, and then we have this little tag here, and that's our upgrade tag, and we can purchase, right? We can make a purchase to upgrade. And then we want to keep doing that. And after we get it all the way full, usually I think when you first start out, it's only 1 or 2 you need. You can upgrade and then you can speed up. There's 2 kinds of speed ups. There's your speed up tickets and then there's speed up ads use. So you want to use up those speed up ads use. And as well in the top left of this, or top right of the screen, you got this little wheel here. And so this is a change your lamp sort of skin. However, there's also an adjust. So if you're there's not really much going on here. It's just filters what the lamps give, I guess. And the further you get, I'm just fighting with my headphones. The further you get, the more you open, but it's pretty indirect. Like there's nothing really going on there. At least I wasn't able to discern any direct correlation to the type of gear that drops out of the lamp to experience, right? How good it is to sell. Maybe there is a map of that somewhere. So yeah, you want to upgrade your lamp. The faster you upgrade things, as well too, when you get the weekly pass, it actually pumps the lamp faster. So that's definitely something you want to look into. And then beside that, we got the auto, and this doesn't come to level 16, as I mentioned. And if you just want to pump lamps, you can change your quality to something that's unavailable. And then as you get later levels, you can also turn up how many lamps get pumped at a time. And then there's filters, but as I said, there isn't really anything. Like, I'm not sure if I know better gear does, like, as far as give you more experience for better gear. However, I'm not sure, like, the difference, perks in the gear have any sort of persuasion as far as what experience is. I just don't worry about it. I was just pumping lamps. So if we come back to this upgrade guy, we can see this list, our current level 20, our next level 21. And if we look at the list, we can see that the odds of things coming out of the lamp. So if we just want to pump the lamp, we want to aim for something that's out of our reach. Or if we're starting out in the beginning of the game, we want to, pick the top tier and then every once in a while come back and grab something good, because it'll stop pumping no matter where you are in the game. I think it'll just throw it in front of your face and then you have the choice to equip it or sell. And that was something that I did, was get the gear up right, because it also helps with the battles and it all comes full circle. Okay, so, and then there's this little blue guy here. So this is another, I would say, weekly. So when you do so much, you can come back here. It looks like levels, and then you get like these promotions. And then you upgrade, and the promotions go towards, there's in your top left, you can go to your thing and you have an appearance, right? They also give these frames. Every time you get one of those upgraded, you can get a different frame. And then moving on here, so we're off to the manor. So the manor is a bit interesting of a place. There's a lot going on here. The hall doesn't have anything. This is apparently for getting married, if you're into that sort of thing, lifers, right? And then the host here underneath the hall, this is sort of where you can come in, and when you give coins daily, you get this friendly tier, and you want to come in here and you want to hit these little cake boxes and you'll get stuff. So every time you trade coins with people, you can get the friendly thing, and then there's the opportunity to get gear and stuff, right? Or gear, gems, and lamps. So you can see familiar, friendly, and then I believe there's one more tier, which is intimate. And then when you hit intimate, or cordial, when you hit cordial, then you can sort of get married. And then there's gifts. There's this little gifts milkshake button. So if I use the gifts milkshake button here, it'll increase affinity, and then that's more closer to that cordial, right? So this other thing, passion post, this is a pack I believe you buy, and it'll up your stuff. And then there's a ring. I didn't understand, like I got 5, I don't know what these are, jewel bits for the ring to level up the ring. I just never, like I hit quick refine, see, it didn't even make it to the next thing. So HP bonus, attack bonus, defense bonus. So a little bit going on there, and yeah, so make sure to come in here and get those friendly upgrades. And you don't have to get married, right? But like, you can give gifts. You can even spread out your gifts if you're not aiming to partner off with someone, and get the friendly and then get those friendly boosts. And I believe that only happens once. So moving through the list, when you first start out the game, I'm not even sure host will be available. or mine. I'm not even gonna remember what's available. But the mine, yeah, so you're pretty much chipping away, right? And then you bring your way down and you want to find these mines. It's a little bit of a side game. At first it's interesting, but it can be tedious. And then you get auto mining, but you don't get it till you hit like 1,000. And when you do get this, you want to just turn this up as the beginning of your dailies. Turn this up, come in, do auto mining. Again, it's one of those ad things, and then it'll knock out 131 blocks or however how much you have, and it'll give you all the mines. And then you just want to chip away at whatever you have left for the day. And I was just leaving it. So I chip away, right? However many I had left. I got 2 pickaxe refills for the day kind of thing. So I'll drain those out. I'll get another 15. And then I'll drain out the dynamite, right? Oh, I just missed this thing. I can't go back for it. That's all right. And end of tier, right? It's a little sad to see me just ripping through things, but yeah. And then those will refill, and then you want to grab those too, and you'll get more pickaxes and bombs and stuff from the mines. So keep an eye on that. When you go to the log, it'll tell you what came out of the mines, and sometimes you'll get more pickaxes or these stones that you can sell. I'll talk about that in a moment. And then you can keep mining as well as drilling. So drilling, you want, if there's like an easier way to get to something, but you have to access it from a different point, you can just drop that drill somewhere else. And at the end of your run, you can just dispose of the drill because you want to, you know, get your dailies out. And then throughout the day, the pickaxes will recover up to 100. So you want to empty this like at the beginning of your day kind of thing. And then when you come back later, it'll be refilled if you want to do anything with it. A little hard to explain when you're at the end. So Tech Park. Tech Park is another big deal because there's lots of nice perks in here. If we look at certain things like pickaxe with acquisition speed and pick capacity, but you have to move through everything else. And these are like PAL and character buffs. However, on the right side here, tech research speed, mine ores 50%. Like there's a lot of nice upgrades here. And as you get further down, there's some pretty nice upgrades as far as offline earnings, and like I didn't even make it all the way. I was hoping to get more offline earnings, but I timed out. So definitely something to invest in. And when you do the mines, you get these little ores, and these ores are what go towards developing your tech. And then we have the speed up coupons, of course. I'm not sure if they like share between the labs. And as well, I didn't talk about, I'll go back to the mine here. I didn't talk about the work log. So when you hit a mine, when you start to get a mine, there's a little work log here, and you can put your pals to work. See, I have 3 avians there. Those are a little different, but you tap on the thing and then you can add whoever. Usually I used to like feed them and stuff, and then I realized that I could just swap them out. So I just swapped them out. And then it's like, do they really go hungry? They're just digital information. But I mean, if you only have a few, you can feed them, and I'll talk about that in a moment. But every place kind of has their own little working party. See, I got this cat here, and I can swap him out for a cat that's, or a creature that's on full blast, and then he can continue to work. For this research team, you want to cancel work every time and then select a new path. And then you just tap through how many you like, which one's the path you kind of want. So it looks like I need a couple more of these. Actually, it doesn't look like I need that first one, eh? So let's go back. And then I can just skip that turtle. I don't even know what that is. But yeah, and then go between these ones because I just want to move on. And then it'll go automatically as long as there's a worker there. So you can either come in and feed them, or you can swap them out for someone fresh. And then there's avians, so you can add an avian and they give like perks. Again, I'll talk about avians a little later. And you want to, I believe, assign the right avian to the right place. I'm not sure 100% how that works, because some avians give boosts different places, and there's parking wars, but parking wars doesn't come to like level, I don't know, like way later. So I'm just going to jump to the workshop, and this is how you feed the creatures. So when you start out, this was like one of the most confusing things for me. I only had 1 pan, and I didn't know how to get food. Like, so you go to talk to this guy here, and he sells you wheat. So you want to come in, you want to buy some wheat, but at first you don't really have any like juice, or you don't have any what's called manor coins. So in order to get manor coins, you have to come over to this farm here. And I do believe like once the farm opens up, you just plant the seed, and then you can hit it after it's done sprouting. And then you say apply fertilizer, and you start with your high yield fertilizer, and then it's done. and then you pick it, and then it takes a second to pick. I noticed sometimes too, it used to say team picking. If it ever says team picking, you just tap it again and it'll take away the team picking and it'll like do your regular picking. And then you just kind of want to do this for a while. So your how would you say, your daily refreshes here, your ads refreshes are 2 basic seeds. So you want to come in and you want to run down as many seeds as you can and get your 2 basic seeds, because those will refill twice. And then as well, it'll give you 2 common fertilizers. I think it'll give you 10 common fertilizers. It's 2 reloads. And if you really want to get up your manor coins, because the salesman guy, you're going to want to do this, the salesman guy actually sells lamps. So you want to come in here and you want to buy up his 5 lamps. And at the beginning, you're probably not going to be able to do it. But if you can, you want to get this magic lamp key, because that'll give you, like I've been saying, watch out for these keys, because that magic lamp key is your key to the also lamp thief. And you want those lamps, right? Because those lamps will give you experience, which will give you levels. So you're going to come in here and you want to hit those 2 free seeds, and you want to hit those 2 free fertilizers. And as well, you'll be able to upgrade like the greenhouse and stuff. I recommend starting with the greenhouse, and then you can ask for help from the family, and that's sort of what's next. So eventually you can, as well, there's a shop. So if you wanted to, like I said, if you wanted to farm some more, you can come in and get some stuff from the shop, and then you can get more coin or some more fertilizers and seeds to keep bringing up your manor coins, so you can get that key. And then you can go steal other people's crops. I mean, there's no big deal. Can steal. You don't get very much. Like, it only ever gives you 6, like 10, right? And then it takes half an hour, and then there's a potential they're going to fight you. So I don't know how fighting works, though. I think it just happens in the background. And I think that's it for farming. I spent a lot of time here just getting those coins up so I can get that key. And then there's the prayer statue. So the food doesn't actually go to the creatures. The food for the creatures you buy from here, from the wheat, and then you head over here. And I didn't buy any wheat. I'll talk about the prayer statue in a moment. The food that you get from the field actually goes to the prayer statue. Okay, so I have those wheats, and then we just come in here and we can like cook a few. It costs us that many wheats. Once you get 2 pans, you can cook 2 things, right? And like right away, I tried to do, that's a one you got to purchase. I tried to buy the expensive stuff thinking it was going to help my pals better, but it was actually too rich for the pals. Like their stamina level, it gave like 80,000 or 8,000 or something. And that really rich thing, when it's too much, they can't eat it because it's too much for them. So there's no point. I couldn't find getting these extra ones, Heart Fruit and Spirit Bloom. I think Spirit Bloom's okay, but the Heart Fruit one is too much. And then there's the Vital Essence. If you really want to feed your animals, your pals, your workers, you can buy these guys for 4,000. And then this is direct food. You don't have to cook it. You just fill them up. Okay, so on to the prayer statue. So the prayer statue, these are buffs. And when you first start out, I think you only get like 1 or 2. And every time you pray, you spend your crops. And then it just spins. So you have 2 sides to this thing, I believe. You have a left and a right. So the left is like how good it is, and the right is how effective it is. So you just want to keep going until you get, see, that's okay. There's an A grade, but it's only 62%. See, I got those S tiers at 98%. Those are where it's at. See, right there, that's good. That's like perfect. And you want to just keep rolling until you get double-sided. But the unfortunate thing is you kind of have to keep 1 unlocked so you can keep rolling. And then if you look at the prayer price, it's actually 100. I can re-roll them all, right? But if they're all locked, that prayer price goes way up. But the only way to upgrade the statue to get more slots to unlock is to have 1 unlocked and keep rolling it. So you got to make that decision as far as what attack power you want to increase. So I believe that's most of it for this screen. There is Parking Wars, so I'll get into Parking Wars right now. Actually, I think I'll come back to Parking Wars because it's like a later game thing. I'll just get into it now. So Parking Wars, you want to park your mounts, and you get to park each mount. Usually when I'm in my space, I just park my low mount. And then you want to come back 8 hours and collect. And that gives you a bunch of stuff to spend in the store. And then in this store, you have the remodeling guide. I guess that's sort of the to-buy kind of thing. But it wasn't the thing I really bought. What I bought was, I believe, this guy. The Express Mine Pass. So this will give you a full mine. And then the offline warp. So this will give you that, on that first screen there's that 2-hour AFK thing. So if I can get that right now, right, it'll give me that 2-hour bonus. So that's something definitely you want to invest in. And then again, we'll continue to find, we'll find parking lot, and we'll just find someone. We want to look through the stats here. This one has 16, but it's usually quite busy. Okay, so that's not too bad. I can drop my surfboard here, and I'll say no to parking fee, whatever. And you can actually challenge other people, but I'd recommend against it unless you can overcome their power level. And I think you actually steal their bonuses. So more parking lots. So I think there's 2 medium parking lots here. I usually park. There's my dinghy guy there. And then there's one really good parking lot I usually save my top mount for, which is server spot. So we come into server spot, and if we look, we have 5 different floors, and they're like 50% bonuses. So if it looks like it's full, it's actually not. Just drop your finger down and you can move around. There's a lot more parking spots, and I'll put my best mount in there. And there's server parking spots, cross server, but it hasn't unlocked for me yet. So that's something I'm never going to see, I guess. And again, we take those parking points and we spend them in the store. And we also get different perks from parking. And there's all sorts of things, like you could spend a lifetime in here playing this. Okay, so that's parking wars. The next screen here is family, so crew. When it comes to this, you want to find a crew or a family, or that has a certain level, so certain things are unlocked. I'm just trying to remember how to switch crews. So right away, you'll notice that it's always so crowded. In the top left here, there's this little arrow. We can actually hide everybody else, and that helps. So this is that same schedule we seen earlier. And then there's events that happen, and we want to come in and do the treasure hunt. And the treasure hunt I had once, it's just a bunch of treasures that pop up all over this area, and you want to go stand by them and then collect that thing. Across the abyss portal, I believe that's the battle scene, and you just like go in and you fight a monster, and then you get a ranking tier depending on how much damage you deal. I never actually got into Family Brawl because it would never let me in, so that's something that never happened. Cross server shift or cross server shutdown, I don't know. However, there's the Blazing Cave in here, and the Blazing Cave, you want to come in and collect the lava chests, which give you some nice stuff, and then you want to challenge. I can actually do one of these. I have no problem with it. It's pretty fast. You want to come challenge the behemoth, and what you'll be doing is just standing here and doing as much damage as you can, and the more damage you do, the higher the level you get. The higher the level you get, the better the reward. So this thing never dies. You just come and hit it, right? You keep hitting it, and it's sort of to gauge how much damage you can do. I think I was doing 30 billion. On the bottom there's a number, and that's million, right? But as we cross over to past the 100 part, it actually becomes billion. Oh, what happened? Yeah, so I win eventually, and you get all this stuff from fighting that. And then I'll go back, then you can go back in it again. But what I usually do, and what's important, is upgrading your stats before going back in. So we want to head back over here because we got all those perks. We want to go enhance, then quick equip, and then again enhance and quick equip, and then we can try our luck with the, what's it called, lava behemoth again. And then we're a little bit stronger than we were last night, not by much, but it's going to make the difference. It's going to give you a little more. What am I doing for time here? Ugh, burning time. I could just leave now, but I might as well just let the card. Actually, I can just leave now. So you just want to do that, get those out of there. And sometimes the magic theater is open. So it's the same thing. You get 2 keys. Looks like you can get 2 reloads. It looks like I burned them all already, but spectator chest, there's nothing here. So it's the same thing. You fight this hat creature. You probably find keys around. So those are the big parts of the family bit. And there's the family hall. So daily, you want to come in here. You want to kind of save it for till the end of the day, and come in here and just help all, and then you can get some coins for that. These are actually family credits, and then donations. So if you have it, this is the only other place I've seen that you can get experience. So you just want to come in here and spend as much gems as you can and get all those experience, because that's kind of the only other place you can get gems. And then the family coins you can come here and take to the shop. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get a whole lot of family coins in a day because I was never able to participate in Family Brawl. However, there are lamps in here, and there's lots of lamps in here. Not only are there lots of lamps in here, I believe there's also keys. And like I said, but you have to have, like, this as I said, you need to find the right family. So when you start out, I don't think you can get initiated into a big family. You might have to beef yourself up. But yeah, it looks like there's keys in here. So there's access to that key right away. And I believe this is for that one daily event, weekly event. And so here's the lamp thief key. And then there's one in there for 2,500, but I need a level 6 family. And I'm not sure which is better, to just buy the little bit of lamps you can get, or the lamp key, depending on your level, I guess. And I believe that's it. So there's like this little fighting range that does nothing in that top corner. And then there's this sort of playground in that top corner. It actually looks like a beach kind of thing. Come down here. And wherever these red dots are, they usually signal that something's available. Whatever. So there's Snowland Crisis, and this was a little tough. You actually have to put together a team. You can do it on your own. However, it's really tough. It's sort of a dedication. If you can find the time, you probably can do it once, maybe if you run out of everything to do. But if we get into it, we're going to do a solo challenge here just to show it off. The Abominable Snowland, you want to light the lighthouse, 12 lighthouses, defeat all monsters, and defeat the Frost Fiend Lord. And these guys are kind of like the Lava Behemoth. They're really tough. I mean, I'm at a later level now, but when you're starting out early, they're pretty tough. And the rewards here aren't very appealing. So I don't know how this works, because I never made it all the way through. So I'll just go give up. And like I said, I don't know where the actual rewards. Okay, so they're right there. So you can get some rewards. I don't see, there's some lamps, possible lamps. Okay, so that's completely it for the whole family bit. And then there's the shop. So in the shop, on the last one here, second last one, we have these free gems that regenerate daily. And then the main screens you want are the first one and the second one. No, the first one. And then the last one, of course, is your apparel or whatever, but I never really sat in here. So this is like a big deal. When you get these coupons, you want to come in here and you want to spend them. So you want to do 30s, and you want to do your best to get 30s almost all the time. And you spend all your 30s. And if you have a little bit left, like I got 6 left, I'm just going to spend my gems and, you know, empty it right out. So I can see I got 0 now. And there's the PAL coupons, same thing. Just want to spend these coupons as much as you can, and then if you have a little bit left over, it's up to you if you want to spend some gems to max it out. And then after that's done, you have to head back to your enhance and then quick equip, and then to your character, enhance, quick equip, and then this will help you fight bosses, right? And bosses give lamps, so it's an indirect lamp generator. As far as the rest of the store, there is sort of a supply screen, and I have been tempted a few times to spend gems on coins, like the Wagon of Gold. Maybe at the beginning of the game, it's advantageous to do this. However, towards the end of the game, 1,000,000 coins isn't really that much as far as spending on the lamp. So coming into the lamp here, this is pretty much where you spend your cash, right? Is purchasing lamp upgrades, and you want these lamp upgrades. You have already almost, yeah, okay, so I don't have enough. All right, I'm not sure I missed anything. Was there anything? Okay, so the stat screen. So we still have like this area here. If we look at our armors and stuff, we can change our default clothes, and that can also happen in the shop. You can choose your default clothes. I preferred the drumstick. I really enjoyed the drumstick, the big meaty drumstick. But you can come into the mount. So beyond these other like gear stuff, there's the mount. And then you can upgrade your mount here. And the more you upgrade your mount, the more, like, the better one you can get. So you can choose to ride one of your previous ones if you want, but I just ride this one. And you can empower your mount, and then you can advance your mount, and then you can remodel your mount. And the only place I've seen to get the remodeling is from the remodeling guide that you get from Parking Wars. So I never really spent a lot of time there because I didn't feel like it was directly related to getting experience or lamps. And adventure reward preview. So I don't know what adventure reward is. I think that's just parking. I was never able to find adventure. Like, I don't know where the adventure is. I figured it was just Parking Wars. And these other ones here, empower, And advance, again, I never touched them because I couldn't find where they were. And they were just kind of irrelevant because they were indirectly related to getting stuff. But as well, the more you like upgrade your mount, you can come back to the dailies and it'll give you stuff. So like one of the dailies would be, you know, upgrade your mount so many times. And then in the same area, of course, here's the art of the relics, right? And then you can search for relics. If we have this little button down here, and these ones come from the battle screen, right? These are the forks that we get from the ancient rune city. And then we come into this area here, no, here. And then we can equip these relics that do different things to increase damage dealt by baddie. And a lot of times they're specific to a specific type of pal. I did find this kite. It says after using active skills, summon lightning dealing damage, which is like my favorite one. It was my favorite one because it's not specific to any pal. I didn't go through them a lot. I just equipped them and upgrade them, and yeah. And then we have the avian. So again, because I was time limited, I didn't get a lot of time to spend here. In the bottom here, we have these tabs. We come over to the end and we got hatch avian. So I don't have any eggs, but you hold down your finger and it hatches an avian. And then you get these different kinds of avians. And then you can take them to the breeding base and you can stick them on the breeding base. So I'm going to mix my pumpkin witch with my aggressive lemon. Confirm breeding. Apparently you need like one sweetheart cake to do it. And then it takes 5 minutes. And you can only do it so many times. And then it'll give you a new avian. I'm not sure what these other ones are. Some of them are like breakdown avian. And I was kind of like, I don't want to like kill my avian. So I didn't do it. And it was just kind of another thing, right? Like there's salvage and reset and salvage all. Like no clue. That just sounds brutal. There's a little book up here. Okay, so those are the avians I got. What else is there? Achievements. So it looks like maybe if you could get some achievements there, it'll give you some more food. Oh, that's right too. So you get EQ fruit or whatever, and then you can feed to the avians. I got 180. Let's dump that all into my candle guy here. He's now level 15. These other guys are like level 3 and level 1. And then, yeah, as I said, you can park your avians on your workforces, and every place has a workforce. So the workforce here, I'm not sure parking where it does. Little security guards, eh? Or the workshop, part-time management. Yeah, okay, so I didn't know there was part-time management. I guess I did. He's off duty because he's never done anything. So I don't know what these, oh, there's also in here, there's the canteen, and you can automatically feed creatures. See, I have this one turned off because I wanted to hold on to that. So when you cook things, it'll automatically feed them. And it just gets a little tedious to keep feeding them. It's better to I found it's just better to switch them up. Continuing with this list, there's more stuff here, and the more stuff you have, the more, like, I don't even have these things, but like, I know that when you spend things on it, you get perks other places. And then there's this one. This is one of these called Star Hero cards. So when you're pulling out of here, one of these ones, I can't remember which one it is, you get those pledge coins or whatever, packed coins, right? You get the packed coins from somewhere, and those packed coins, you can come into the Star Hero cards and go Star Hero draw. You either have cards or coins. See on the top left, we got coins and cards, so I can use one of my cards, and then that might give me a Star Hero or something else. I'm not sure there's lamps in here. Exchange. Okay, so you can also exchange. I didn't know you can do that. I don't know what those are though. I don't have any, whatever they are. But yeah, and then you can also use your coins, but you can't use your coins directly. You have to use this little button. Like, I don't think you can use them in here. So there's a Star Hero, but like I can't seem to draw from here. It says I got to use a card, but I can still use my coins here. So I think I buy a card, right? And I have to keep coming back to this screen to buy a new card, kind of thing. Oh, there's lamps. Okay. And then it's a little more expensive. Like you can see my coins are dropping by 200 a piece. And I'm not sure they're that expendable anywhere else. Then after you get your Star Hero cards, there's this whole big spiel of lining them up on this table and this table, and they all have different perks. So one of the ones I got right away was the Genie of Wishes here, and this is the Lamp Thief, right? And he gives unlock magic lamps 50% faster. So that was pretty good. Raise star, and we can star him up, but I don't seem to have whatever he needs. I think it's another card. Like I have to get another card of him and then I can upgrade him, kind of thing. So So yeah, that's a whole nother area, and that's sort of indirectly as well. And then there's this little tab here that always pops up on the bottom corner here. And you constantly want to hit it. It's always renewing itself. It just right now it's locked. I need to bring my level up to 101 before I can open it up. And again, we want to do our dailies. So here, this is cooled down. Has this cooled down? It has cooled down. It's been half an hour. What a long video. This was just supposed to be a quick brief. So I hope that helps you get to level 105, because I didn't, and explained a little bit all the hot pro strategies to getting through Legend of Mushroom to get your GrabTap rewards, and help me out by hitting up JWPStream and GrabTap, or probably by the time you watch this video it might be Hidrux, because I am in a transition from my JWPStream into Hidrux, because it's supposed to be Hidrux. We'll see. We'll see. It's still a ways away. I'm talking like years away. But Hidrux is mostly kind of like my regular games. It's just supposed to be my relaxed things. But when someone told me, or when I found out I could earn like hard cash for playing games, yeah, look at me now. I'm doing a Legend of Mushroom tutorial. So I'm planning to do these, not tutorial, but pro strategies. That's what I'm calling this series. And I'm planning to do pro strategies for every game that I play. Once I beat the game or I clear my GrabTap, I'll come in, I'll look at the game, I'll explain it, and then hopefully my viewers, or hopefully my viewers and the people that are going to be helping me in my GrabTap can get the pro strats. Or my friends who are also streamers, and I'll be like, well, what am I getting out of it, kind of thing. But anyway, that's it for Legend of Mushroom. An interesting game, a lot of nice art. I had a bit of fun here and there, a little bit of frustration. It is quite competitive, lots going on. I love the events. The music was great. Again, I couldn't play the music. Sound effects are okay. They weren't too repetitive. And I believe that's it. So I'll call it here. I hope I covered enough. I mean, if you have any questions, I'm in the Discord, the JWP server. You can hit me up on my stream. I mean, just don't be trying to, how would you say, flood my stream. Anyway, I'm out of here. Try to stream on the weekends, Central Canada time, midday on Twitch. Search for Hidrux, Hidrux. Previous sessions on YouTube, Hidrux Gaming. Later.